Now I'll give you the subject. You can fill up your own predicates. Okay? Now, add predicates, add to these sentences. So I'll give you subject and then we'll add on. You will help me to add on. Now let's say wild animals. Wild animals. I put the capital letter, wild animals. Now you complete the subject, the wild animal. The wild animal is the subject. Now what can we say? Wild animals, we can say, are kept. Okay, tell me, are kept in, very good, cages. Even in the big zoos, big places, they have an enclosure, but they are protected. They maybe have space, but some places they are kept in cages. Wild animals are kept in cages. Now, wild animal is what I provided for you. That's the subject. Begins with the capital letter, ends with the full stop. So now you know how to end. Or you can say, wild animals are left free in the zoo. Wild animals run about freely in the forest. You can end anyhow. Okay? Now I'll give you another one. Rahul and Usha. You can end anyhow. Now I have given you Rahul and Usha. R and S are capital letters because that's the name of people. So I have given you the subject Rahul and Usha. Complete the sentence. So you give me some predicate to complete this subject. What is this? Subject. Rahul and Usha, these are the subjects. Now what are they? You can say Rahul and Usha are friends. They are twins. They are studying the same way. You can end anyhow. You can put anything. This is a subject. You can put anything. Rahul and Usha went to the market. Rahul and Usha are friends. Rahul and Usha are fighting. Rahul and Usha love to study together. So when the subject Rahul and Usha are given, you can end, you can put in any predicate to make a complete sentence. Only thing, end it with a full stop, begin with the capital letter. So now we learn two sentences. We are given the subject wild animals. Wild animals roam freely in the forest. Wild animals are kept in cage, anything. Rahul and Usha. So we learn to complete and we learn to supply the predicates for the subjects. Okay. All birds. All birds. All birds is the subject I am giving you. All birds. That's the subject. Now, complete the sentence by providing some words for the predicate. Okay. All birds. All birds build their nest. Or all birds can fly. All birds lay egg. Whatever you want. Remember to put the full stop. So we learned, we know the subject. So we know, you know how to fill in the predicate to complete the sentence. Next. The Himalayas. T capital letter. The Himalayas. The Himalayas, that's the subject I am providing. That's the subject I am providing for you. Now, put in predicate to complete the sentence. The Himalayas are the highest mountain ranges. The Himalayas are in the north. The Himalayas are in the On the northmost part of India, the Himalayas are a chain of mountains, whatever you want. But remember, end it with the full stop. So, the Himalayas are the highest mountain, the highest full stop. So, are the highest mountain, we filled up that is the predicate. Now, I'll give you one more subject and you can think about the poor woman's husband, the poor woman's husband. That is the poor woman, this is the subject I am giving you. The poor woman's husband. Now you supply the predicate. The poor woman's husband had died. End with the full stop. So now we learned to complete a sentence by providing the predicate. Subject given and predicate, and you will learn also to end it with the full stop. Let's look at it. Subject and predicate. Add predicates to these subjects. Wild animals are the subject. Are kept in cages, predicate. Rahul and Usha, that's the subject, are friends. That's the predicate you supplied. All birds are the subject, build their nest. Full stop. Himalayas are the subject, are the highest mountains. The poor woman's husband, that's the subject, and you added had died. All sentences end with the full stop. All the sentences begin with the capital letter. A sentence has two parts, a subject and a predicate. I'll give you few more sentences for you to pick the subject and look at which is the predicate. Okay? Ram went for a walk. The trees are tall. Okay? Next. Swimming. Swimming is a good exercise. Susan loves boating. The beautiful rainbow soon faded away. Good children never tell lies. Never tell lies. Parents love their children. So I have 6 sentences here, complete sentences, and we are going to look at these sentences and say which is the subject, which is the predicate. It's very easy. As we go along, it's very easy. What are we talking about? That's the subject. The rest is all predicate. It's very easy. So I told you a sentence has two parts, a subject and a predicate. It begins with the capital letter, always ends with the full stop. Now look, Ram. Ram went for a walk. Ram is the subject. Okay, Ram is the subject. I am underlining the subject with the red and I am underlining the predicate with the blue. Went for a walk, ending with the full stop. Ram went for a walk. Next, the trees. That's the subject. The trees are tall, and so the full stop, that's the predicate. The third sentence, swimming. Swimming is a good exercise. Is a good exercise is the predicate. Is the predicate. Is the subject. Okay? Then Susan. Susan loves boating. Loves boating. Ending with the full stop, that's the predicate. The beautiful rainbow. The beautiful rainbow, the whole lot. The beautiful rainbow, that's the subject. Soon faded away with the full stop, that is the predicate. And then you have good children. But the subject, good children. Never tell lies. Never. Good children. Then you have parents. What do the parents do? They love their children. They love their children. Now just look at all these sentences. You have identified the subject and the predicate. So you underline the subject with red, underline the predicate with the blue color. Do it in your book. And now, Ram went for a walk. Ram, we are talking about Ram. Ram is the subject. Went for a walk is the predicate. Begins R capital and ends with the full stop. The trees are tall. The trees, we are talking about the trees. That is the subject. Are tall is the predicate. Begins with the capital letter T and it ends with the full stop. Swimming is a good exercise. We are talking about swimming. Swimming is the subject of the sentence and is a good exercise is the predicate. So S begins with the sentence begins with the capital letter. Here it ends with the full stop. Susan loves boating. Susan is the subject, S capital. Loves boating is the predicate. It ends with the full stop. The beautiful rainbow. We are talking about the beautiful rainbow is the subject. Begins with the capital letter. Soon faded away is the predicate. Ends with the full stop. Good children are good children never tell lies. The subject here is the good children. G capital. Good children is the subject. Never tell lies is the predicate. Ends with the full stop. Parents love their children. Parents, that's a subject we're talking about. Begins with the capital letter. I have underlined in red. Love their children. That's the predicate. Ends with the full stop. So now I am sure now you know what is the subject, what is the predicate in a sentence. How to pick out the subject, how to identify the predicate, how to join the subject and the predicate together to form a complete sentence. Begins with the capital letter and ended with a full stop. Now we are going to, I'm going to give you subject. So you need to add, no, I'll give you predicate this time. You need to add subjects. We do the reverse. Okay? So you will, by that time, you will understand what I'm trying to say. What we are going to do is, you're going to add subject. This time you will supply subject to these predicates. To these so the main thing is adding subject. So I'll write a half the sentence. on dead animals. I'm giving you the predicate. Feed on. Feed on dead animals. Who feeds on dead animals? Very good. Vultures. So you can complete the predicate by supplying vultures. So the first one is you are supplying the vultures. The vultures feed on dead animals. Very good. So you got the subject. The vultures feed on dead animals. You completed the sentence. Full stop, capital letter. Okay. Next one. Is very regular. You can supply anything. Is very regular is the predicate. Who is very regular? She is very regular. Mary is, you can put pronouns or nouns. You can say Peter is very regular to class. You can say Peter, she, whatever you want. So, Peter is very regular. Say very regular to class. Peter is very regular to class. Is regular to class is the predicate and you have supplied the subject Peter. Or you can say Peter and John, then I have to change the area. Okay. The third one. Loves music. Loves. Who loves music? I've given you the predicate ending with the full stop. Now you supply the subject. You can say, yes, Susan and Kathy loves music. Peter and John loves music. Whatever you can write. Joe loves music. You can say Tom. Very good. And Joe. Tom and Joe loves music. So Tom and Joe, they are the subject. Who loves music? Tom and Joe. You have become very good now. Next. Is full of flowers. Fourth one. You supply the subject for me. Is full of flowers. Is full of flowers is the predicate. Now you supply the subject for me. What will you write? The garden. Very good. The garden. T capital because you're ending here full stop. The garden. The garden is full of flowers. The garden is full of flowers. The garden is the subject that you have supplied. Okay. Then, fifth one. Is our national flower. Is a national flower. That's a predicate. And now you supply the subject for me. What is it? The lotus. Oh, the lotus. The lotus is a national flower. The lotus is the subject that you have supplied. Is a national flower. We completed it by putting in a full stop. And finally, I'll put one more sentence for you. Is a faithful animal. Is a faithful. Which is the faithful animal you know? It's a faithful animal. You supply the subject. The dog. Very good. The dog is a faithful animal. That is the subject. See now how well you you have supplied the subject for all the predicates. Now, add subject to these predicates. Feed on dead animal. Who feeds on dead animal? The vultures. That's the subject. Begins with the capital letter, ends with the full stop. Is very regular to class. Who is very regular to class? Peter. So Peter is the subject, P capital letter, ends with the full stop. Another one, loves music. That's the predicate I'm giving you. And you supplied Tom and Joe. Loves music. And to the full stop, Tom and Joe both are names of people, capital letter. Now, is full of flowers. That's the predicate I'm giving you. And you put in the garden. The garden is full of flowers. The garden is the subject. Big T begins with the capital, ends with the full stop. Now I supplied for you is our national flower. That's the predicate, and you said we'll put in the lotus. The lotus is the subject, is our national flower. Is a faithful animal. That's the predicate, is a faithful animal, and you supplied the dog. The dog is a faithful animal. That is the subject, begins with the capital letter, ends with the full stop. So now you know how to supply the subject when the predicate is given, how to supply the predicate when subject is given, how if I give you the subject and the predicate, you know how to do matching correctly, always remembering the sentence has two parts, the subject and the predicate. It begins with a capital letter and ends with the full stop.